more cozy. All right, so when doing a transformation conference, I think this is the topic that has come up most recurringly. It's kind of amplified in strength in the past couple of years. This notion of a digital product passport, which is becoming mandated by the European Union for all consumer products in the market. We have discussed this at length, width and breadth and depth in the Scandinavian MIND platform and in our transformation conferences. And naturally, we wanted to do a kind of a check-in here today with this panel. So much to cover. I think actually I'm going to ask Jonas. Came all the way here from Borås, where you are an associate professor. What is the kind of state of DPP in the market right now for fashion brands?
Well, today it's a bit uncertain because we don't really know what the EU will provide us.
That's the answer I've gotten every year the past 3 years. It's uncertain.
Yeah, but what I figured out from reading all this legislation is that if you know what you're doing with regards to sustainability, if you keep track of that, if you're setting goals and show positive results and are honest with your customers, you will have no problems with the ESPR or the DPP. But if you don't do that, then it will be more difficult. So that is sort of the, there will be a lot of work though, but if you do all that, it will be much easier. Then if we look at the timeline, this is where I see that I can understand that it's a bit difficult to navigate because they're, even from the governmental side, they give different timelines. So the EU in the working plan for the DPP, they have they use one word, and the Swedish EPA, Naturvårdsverket, they use the same word, but they have different timeline. It's a different of 18 months between them. So, but I would go for that. It still seems like if you July 2027, that is when you have to have DPPs on the product.
And what is that definition then? What do you have to have? From my understanding is some kind of identifier on the garment, something you click or scan or read or code or something, which leads to some kind of website-y looking thing or an app or whatever it is that gives you a set of data about this product. Am I right there?
Yes, it's described as a QR code.
Trying to simplify, like let's get down to basics.
A QR code, it seems like, is enough. But then also the very basic examples of, or the best guesses that we have right now is country of origin, material content, everything that's needed for the recyclers to take care of a product at the end of the life cycle. Some traceability also, as I mentioned. And there are a few different big frameworks out there that are working on, they want different things in the DPP. So traceability for end of use. What else is there? Care, how to take care of a garment and how to repair it. But I think that this DPP gives so much more options for other things than just these kind of rather.
We'll get to that, and we'll talk about opportunities later. But I want to bring in Sanne here to talk about from kind of the brand side. You have actually been working on this for several years, like way before even the Green Deal came in 2020, I think it was. Talk about, like, describe Green Cotton Group for the audience and how you have tackled this concept of DPP.
Green Cotton Group is a textile production company from 1983. We've been working with sustainable textile production and garments since then, so for many, many years. When I first started working with DDP in 2018, was when I met Heidi. I didn't know that it was named DPP. It was a blockchain project, and we thought it was really interesting. We eco-label everything that we produce, and it's transaction-based. And here blockchain could really solve a lot. I think many of you people are data people, And you would be shocked if you saw how it's handled today with Excel sheets and physical certificates. So I was seeing a big thing in this blockchain. We couldn't get any of the eco-label organizations to join us. So I was looking into it and say, okay, we can use this instead to make some transparency to our customers. And show them, because we are producers all the way to retail. And we have a lot of data. We have actually all the way back to where the fibers come, because we have worked with our suppliers for almost 20 years.
De hade en DPP 6. Det var därför du fick den sista frågan.
We have Linda live on her microphone here. Hopefully she's not at the bathroom or something.
Swedish, so I didn't understand it.
Thank you.
And where did I come from? Yeah. So we wanted to do this transparency for our garments, and in that same time we asked our end consumers who are really sustainable. Many people can make the same as us, same designs, nice designs, better prices, but our customers want our way of thinking sustainability. So we asked them, are you interested in transparency to see where garments come from? And there was absolutely no interest at all. We did it anyway, and then we finished this pilot project, and after that I was kind of sure that I wanted anyway to own the data myself. And that will be a huge discussion in the coming years, who owns this data. After the first pilot project, I was like, I want my data. I don't want it to be deleted somewhere, I don't want, So we jumped into the next pilot project and did a QR code. The thing is that working in these areas, and I'm sorry because all of you are there's many data people, but I got so sick of this talk of data. I'm a producer of garments. I make value for my consumers. Data for data's sake has no value at all. So. And with this feedback from our customers, we were like, how do we create value? How do we make a digital product passport that actually makes value? Because they don't give anything to see where the fibers come from, the whole value chain, everything. They don't care. So at this point, we already was working with Great to Stay, the gentleman in the corner there. And we have a resell platform. So we decided that this data thing that EU probably maybe want, we don't know what they want, should be a very, very small part of our digital product passport. So it's like 25% of it. It's just parked in a corner until we know what they want. People can see all the way back to the fiber, where it comes from, every data that we have already in our systems, because we work with our products in a good way and sustainable way. So the rest of the digital product passport is actually a button for quick resell. We take back all garments that we sell. So with 2 hits, you can skip your product back to us.
We can actually, I brought up the QR code. You can actually test your actual product passport.
Can you? Because I had a little difficulty on the screen.
I tried it before at breakfast. So
you can resell. Then we have a button for repair, because together with Great to Stay, we offer free repair of all our garments. We knew it will be very low because we make good products, but so that was kind of a no-brainer and not a big risk, but it's something that our customers like that to be. And the rest, the last 25% is care instructions. So this was a pilot project in October, and now it's on 500,000 garments dropping here in July and August. Yeah.
Good job. Heidi, I want to bring in you, and you've obviously been working with Sanne and supporting her. And you have tackled this in many different ways, and I know you're running a big project right now, which I want you to mention. But why has this been such an important focus for the industry, you think?
Well, first of all, Lifestyle and Design Cluster is this R&D department for the industry, and we support brands, retailers with funding or resources in order to do some of these pilots that is so difficult to fundraise within your own budgets. So this is kind of the sandbox where you can test the things and then you're ready to make the decisions or implement it. Then in terms of this traceability and transparency, I want to maybe just look to another industry for a brief moment. If we look to the digital transformation in the music industry, it was the big platforms that ended up winning. The creators, the designers in the music industries are not making as much money as the digital passport or at the digital platforms. So 15 years ago, we as an industry saw that you could buy products online, but of course not for our industry, because you have to go to the physical store to make the decision. You have to touch the products. 15 years later, it is a vital revenue stream for our brands. Now we're at the next era, and this is where I really want to talk to owning your own data, because the digital product passport can be a system where data flows, and it flows from the creative industry, and somebody else is going to own the market share, the market value. So this is really the time where the brands and the retailer can capture and learn from music or other industries, digital transformation. How do you own your customers? How do you own the data? And how do you become the winner of the market in the future? But we can speak to the future later. But we are supporting the brands with the competencies, the investment in their employees, so you're ready for that transformation.
I want to get into the opportunities here, but I want to bring in Sara, and you kind of represent the tech aspect here. As the founder of Repass, you have a kind of a DPP solution that you are offering. When you are speaking to brands, when you have that initial first conversation, maybe with a brand that isn't as far along as Sanne is, what is the first point of discussion there? What are we talking about?
Well, I think if we just continue the fantastic discussion that was today, the first thing I said, that forget about digital product passport. Let's talk about transparency. Let's talk about connectivity of the data. And even better, let's not talk tech. Let's talk about getting the overall view from product behavior, customer behavior, and back to the supply chain behavior. Are you interested to that? Then let's talk. Because digital product passport technically is, yes, as everybody today talked about, it's about having the data, putting the data in the specific format. I am a big fan that format is dynamic, not static and printable in a data sheet, but I think I like to start like that. This is about transparency. This is about know what is happening and thinking about product, not as something as physical material like a stone, but like a smart guy jumping here and there, and you're supposed to follow and understand what is happening. And then look at it as a big data together, and not silo of data, or not one piece of data. So I like to start like that.
And what does that discussion look like? Is it about finding the data first, or can you have like a holistic discussion?
I think it is mostly about understanding the processes that is happening and priorities. For example, if you are thinking about, as you mentioned, we are thinking about digital product passport as regulation, or we are thinking about getting the transparency in place. No matter, we are thinking about, okay, we are producing product and then we want to sell it, we want to activate it for a circular process. Okay, what is the available information in different places? Really practical. Minimize it, reduce all unnecessary things, minimize it, and think that, okay, how can I make completely together connected view of that? Let's just start from there. So let's be practical.
Let's be practical. Okay, so I want you all now to talk about the opportunities of a DPP. Let's just assume that this is happening in some form or another. However the legislation works, we can kind of leave aside. Something is happening, just like keep an eye on it if you're a brand. But having something that provides more information about the product seems to have many different benefits, of course, you know, from sustainability to commercial benefits to other benefits for the actual consumers. I'd like us all to talk about that, and maybe Jonas, you can start. And from like the work you do at the University of Borås, how do you tackle this, and what potentials do you see?
Yeah, so we see a lot of potential in creating more value for the consumers with the DPP. And what is value for consumers? It is quality, availability, that is a reliable brand. Then, of course, that people in the value chain have it good, that the company works with sustainable consumption and production. That is very important, but it is the traditional values that are still up there. And it's a very good opportunity for brands to show how they do that. So for example, that they can show the resale value of a garment already when the customer is looking at the garment the first time. Could be one such thing that could drive customers, consumers to buy more expensive products. So this is essentially what I want people to do, buy more, higher quality that they pay more for, so that they cannot spend the money on stupid things.
Yeah, we'll talk more about resell in the session after the break. But Heidi, you know, you started with blockchain. You know, DPP is not necessarily blockchain, but what opportunities do you see if you look a little bit further ahead?
I only wish it was, but there's some out there. All right. Well, right now we have 22 brands that are participating in a 15 million Danish kroners program, and we have room for 60 brands in total. So if you need help, come by. But we asked these 22 brands, all right, let's assume legislation is taken aside. Sorry to say, it's canceled, it's out. Why are you doing a digital product passport? And 3 business models came up. Risk management. They don't know their supply chain very deep, so it's very difficult to do risk management. COVID was an excellent wake-up call, and now data is asked for, second wake-up call, and we can keep coming. So risk management, one business model. The other one is save money. A lot of waste, a lot of overproduction, a lot of wrong stock in the wrong place, all those things. So utilizing data to make sure that we have the right old lean strategies, have the right products in the right place. And the last business model that came up was make money. Sell the right products to the right people at full price. What?
About that.
How exciting. So these 3 business models, I'm sorry, they're not like future look in the crystal ball kind of thing. But when you are at the point where you can utilize data for these 3 business models, you're pretty good set for a better future. And then we can talk about new types of business models that can come into place. But that's at least when we ask the brands, if legislation was canceled, what could you do with a digital passport or at least this data?
And how far along are we with some of these things? I mean, it doesn't sound that complicated, let's say, to implement some of this stuff.
So
Or?
I love working with Sanne, but as she mentioned, she just don't want to do data for data's sake. So it's complicated because we're in a industry that's not built of engineering educated people. It's not, we don't speak data. So there's a lot of education to be done. And of course, we have to educate the end users also, but we have to point at ourselves first. So how far are we? Well, an open invitation. Jump on the next train at the 4th of September and come to Borås. We have 22 brands that are very brave and bold and have built their first pilot, kind of like Sanne here. Exactly. Of their digital passport. their version of how can it create value for their brand, not for the sake of legislation. They're using that as a guideline, but for the sake of their users, their customers, their B2B partners, but also their suppliers. Maybe even getting to a point where they can pay their suppliers for the data, not just asking them to do extra work. So come see all these great cases.
Sanne, when I hear you talk, it feels like you are having the kind of perspective of the consumer when doing this. You want to provide value to the consumer. Do you see more based on what we heard now, more features you want to add to your digital product passport based on what's possible? What's in the future for you guys?
I could definitely see a lot of features. I'm more a doer than a thinker. So I just made this passport, and now we start to think about, we can do so much. First, the education of the consumers, because we do a lot of baby clothes. What is the first thing you do when you get your baby clothes home? You cut off everything. And I couldn't find a better solution than these QR labels to sew in. So to teach them, and we write on them, "Don't cut me." That resulted in some people tearing it off, destroying the garments also. But so education is a good thing, and I think this resell button will help a lot. It's growing for us, the resell platform. Actually, right now, 45%, I just got new numbers yesterday, of our new customers on our web shop come from the reselling part. So they are performing better than Google. So go fuck. That is an important part of us and something that they value, our consumers. So that will, I think, that will help them to educate, to start using this one when they find out slowly. We also made them unique without really knowing what we wanted to use it for. So each QR code is unique. It's not batch generated. If we can get them to sign up, right now we don't get the data from the consumer until they want to resell it or until they want to repair. But you know, customer relations built into these. There's so many things we can work with.
Right. Sara, I want to bring you in here. What do you see in the future for the development of a digital product passport? What features are you excited about? When it's all implemented, when it's on every garment, what can we do then?
You know, again, I want to go back to the discussions today. I think considering what AI is providing today and the flexibility of the modular thinking, you know, you can add a lot of functionalities quite well. The point is, do you have the data? Are you making this connected data? For example, are you building this overview of your product behavior on the market? Then yes, you can do quite a lot. We have done on the same data to business project. We have tried several of them on the for example, we tried, okay, normally a lot of brands has joined the community, okay, and get these discounts. What happen if we connect this join the community to the digital product passport, and then repair? Find the closest. You're in the nature in your tent, and the tent needs a repair or something. Find the closer repair shop, or where to go to have the best experience in nature if I am having this set of ski accessories to do it. So connect everything that the brand already has through the digital product passport, while again creating the traffic not in the digital product passport, but to the, so it is quite easy to actually, on the tech side, it is quite easy when you are making the product traceable in the market, then you can communicate. Yes, you can. You need the approval from customer, but in certain level, you can go without getting the private information. On quite general level, continue communicating with the customer through digital product passport. So again, I say that I think creating this overview of the data. And through it, for me, digital product passport is like a window. You having it open in the market, it means that you can talk. So in a futuristic view, I have this shirt and you have that beautiful skirt. And then I want to go somewhere. I have my own digital wardrobe. You have yours, and we can swap. Because we have this through our digital product passport, not going to any website or anything or any app. So we can just communicate with each other. From this kind to repair, reselling, or anything that already brand has it. So this is not really a rocket science. I think we tech people, we have the tendency to make things complicated. But if the brand has their own groundwork and understanding of their own processes, then it's a lot of tech work that can be done that make it better.
I want to finish out by talking even more about the consumer, and just to hear you to reason a little bit, like how much do you think the consumer will care about the DPP? I've heard many different things. I mean, is it just going to be like this care label that's always there and you don't think about it? Maybe when you need it, you scan it and something comes up, or can this actually be like a vehicle for changing how we interact with our clothes? And to me, it's not obvious what will happen here, but I'd like all of you to kind of answer this question.
It depends on what value we put into it. One of our partners in this project we are running with Heidi, they make a lot of outerwear. You all have kids, you put name and phone numbers in your outerwear, and then it's the little brother, and then it's the little sister, and it's like 3 names and phone numbers. This could be in a digital product passport. It could just come up when you scan it, name of the kid and a phone number to call. Okay, then I have your jacket. There's so
whole different era for the lost and found bin at the daycare center.
You know, and when you start thinking about it, there's so many possibilities to give this value so that our consumers can use it for something.
Heidi?
The value for the consumer, most definitely. It's hard to convince management in a brand that we need to do this to create value for the consumer. Often they need a conviction about what's happening in my business and how does it make my business better. And I speak to so many ESG managers right now that are struggling, fighting to keep their departments, keeping their work, keeping this topic relevant. And I'm educated in marketing, and I feel like all these ESG managers are at the same state as I was 15 years ago as a marketing manager, where back then you couldn't measure marketing. Marketing was the fun cost department. They had the great parties, they had the great exhibitions and trade shows. They all of a sudden this digital transformation hit marketing, and we could measure everything. And everything, all of a sudden we as a marketing department was owning the customer, which meant that we had access to management, to budgets, to transformations and so on. And I feel like DPP and so many other tools in this digital transformation is happening in the ESG agenda right now. So I keep asking the ESG managers to go next door, talk to their CMO, partner up with them, have them tell you, how are we speaking this data language? How am I not talking about ESG reporting, but how am I talking about business value, customer value, and then utilizing that transformation? So I want to really emphasize that marketing has been down this road before, other industries as well, but learn from each other, and that way use that data-driven exercise right now to build a better business. And then the ESG manager is going to be the most important business development manager in a very close future.
Interesting. Just really quickly, both from Jonas and Sara, how do you see this play out for the consumer? What's your...
I think what Eric talked about earlier, where your phone knows about, or you describe what you want to know, and then the DPP will provide you that information, what you want to know about the government. So you have really personalized product passports. I think that is definitely one road, which is interesting.
You mentioned the example about the shirt talking.
Oh yeah. We can. We have developed a concept of talking garments that.
Talking garments?
Yeah, when a garment isn't used for a while, it says to the owner, "Hey, you're not using me. Do you want to sell me?" And then I can say yes. I would
Is it
like.
like a speaker, or is it more like a notification?
Text or whatever, yeah. And then after, you can say I want to sell you, and through one of the platforms, and then yeah.
Very interesting. I feel we all have like a choir from our wardrobe asking for us to be used. Sara, finally, I guess you have the last word here.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a good idea to talk about this project Repass 2 in Europe that was about the cooperation of a lot of stakeholders in Europe, and it is still going to getting feedback and discussions about, okay, how it's supposed to be. And you know what? They are still have, if you go to the website Repass 2, they have these questionnaires that you can answer. And one of the most important and interesting question is that, what do you think about, this is the question, is not about the digital product passport, but the provider of data infrastructure service. Okay, so they are asking, do you think it's important that this data infrastructure is connected and connectable to other systems as a pre-assumption? So it's supposed to not to be a very isolated system. It's supposed to talk to other systems. So I say hail to that, because then we are talking to, then it's a lot of good platform for repair, resell, and everything. I just want to give one very concrete example of that. We send a digital product passport to Swix, which is a sport outdoor brand. And I got a feedback on midnight or something like that from a sales manager in US. He was asking if they can use it, because we were using Digital Link, if they can use it for communication for store employees, to tell them how to sell every pieces and which pieces has how level of priority, and if they can update on the first page videos in a way that they can show it to the customer and use it like a live demo for a customer, because it's pricey, the pieces. And I say, yeah, you can do that. You see, the knowledge as your side, we are like techie guys, we have to deliver the solution, but it is possible to make real revenue on that.
Right. Heidi,
Just a quick comment on the user. We have done several tests now where we've had, the latest test was 150 students out of the university here in Copenhagen that went out with products and digital product passports and asked the users, here, try to scan this and tell me what you liked about it. And they were super happy about this because they feel so confused. They feel like they're talked about in sustainabilities in so many ways. And all of a sudden, it was very tangible for them. They felt like they could compare the two passport. And even though that you put a care label instruction, most of the consumers replied, please tell us how to take care of the products. So we need to keep talking to them and talking with them. And they were really asking about this. So the research that we've done so far, they are very curious and love to engage with the products.
The consumer love to engage with the product. Let's take that as a cue for our next break. But thank you for providing this episode of Digital Product Passport. Sanne, Heidi, Sara, and Jonas, a warm applause.